Hello students, I am Ajit Verma. In this video, we will talk about the term authority. Authority, as the name suggests you, it's the power or right to give orders, make decisions and enforce obedience. In any of the organization, because just before this topic, we have discussed about the term organization and the different organization structures in the previous tutorial. So accordingly, the term authority can also be part to discuss here because until and unless you give the authority to someone in the organization, the job cannot be performed. So at the top position, when you hire a manager for a particular department, some authority needs to be given to that particular person. Here I will also like to discuss about the responsibility. Many people think that authority and responsibility are the same terms. No, actually responsibility can be given when you join the organization. For example, if you join the organization as a salesman, so your primary responsibility is that you have to look after the sales and some profile, some job descriptions which are already discussed by the company. You are responsible for those things. And authority means like what kind of authority is required to fulfill those responsibility is basically the point of question. So for fulfilling your responsibility, some authority needs to be given to you by the management. Like you can take the decision of say 1 lakh, up to 1 lakh rupees you can sign any amount, or you can sign any check as per your authority. You can make any distributor, or you can give orders, or you can take any order from the distributor. So that is basically the part of the authority which is given to you by the top management. Now, delegation of authority. Delegation of authority simply means the person who is authorized for a certain task, if he or she may delegate some portion of his authority or the complete authority to its subordinate, then this is known as the delegation of authority. This is again sometimes what happens in the organization. For example, if the manager is going on a leave, or if the manager has some important works to do, so what that manager does is like he gives a portion of his authority to the immediate subordinate, or the person, or the secretary below him. Then that secretary has the term which is known as the delegation of authority, and as a part of that delegation of authority by the manager to him, he is authorized to take the decision on the manager's behalf. Now, after this, it's important to discuss about the two terms, that is the centralization and decentralization. Centralization, as the name suggests to you, it's a systematic and consistent reservation of authority at central points within an organization. See, we have already discussed about the different organizational structures, where I have talked about the line kind of structure and the line and staff kinds of structures. So in line structure, generally you find that the authority and the power is vested over one position, and that is the meaning of the centralization. Centralize means all the things are at one particular point, and mainly when you talk about a small organization, for example, the manager is responsible for decision making, and he is the only one who can take the decision of all the aspects, all the departments. So that kind of thing is known as the centralization. Basically, if you follow this centralization, the organization cannot expand as much as that organization can, and generally it's suitable for the small kind of concern. And on the longer aspect, if you see, the decision making will become slow when you follow the centralization kind of approach, and this can be clarified when I discuss about the differences between the centralization and decentralization. Now, just have a look on the decentralization. Decentralization is a systematic delegation of authority at all levels of management and in all of the organization. In a decentralization concern, authority is retained by the top management for taking major decisions and framing policies concerning the whole concern. As the name suggests you, decentralization means there is no point of discussion or no point of authority at one particular point. Rather, the authority is given at all the major points inside the organization, and the manager opined that all the major decisions which directly relate to the growth of the business will be taken by the management, and all the routine kind of decisions and the decisions which directly relate to a particular department or a particular function can be taken by the manager of the same concern or the same department. So that kind of thing is known as the decentralization. Now just have a look on the difference between the centralization and decentralization approaches. I have taken a few bases on which we can discuss it. The first is the communication flow. In case of centralized kind of structure or centralization kind of thing, you will find that normally it is vertically uh, in one particular flow, and generally it comes from top to down. Like the manager will try to communicate from top, and the middle level and the lower level will generally listen and follow it. In a decentralization structure, it's like an open tree. Anyone can communicate, anyone can suggest anything from top to bottom or bottom to top. The second is the decision making aspect. In centralized, it is slow, as I have already told you, because one man cannot be perfect in taking all the decisions. So generally, when you are the only one to take the decisions, all the decisions will compile one after another, and again your decision making will become slow. In case of decentralized, it become fast because you have already delegated your authority or responsibility to someone, and depending on its authority, that he or she can take the decision. When we discuss about the advantage, so proper coordination and leadership can be found in centralized kind of structure because it's a one man army. And in decentralized, sharing of burden responsibility is one of the feature. Like you can if you have overburden or you have many works to do, then you can delegate some of the work to your subordinate. So this is the feature in case of decentralization kind of structure. Then power of decision making. So generally, as the name suggests, and we have already discussed, in centralized, the one man or the one person in the power can take the decision, while in decentralized kind of thing, multiple persons can have the authority to take the decision, and they can contribute in decision making process. The reasons, if we talk about in centralized, the inadequate control over the organization is there generally, and in decentralized we will find that considerable control over the organization is there, because many people are there and they have equally given the authority, and they feel responsible towards the attainment of the objective of the organization. Now best suited for, if we take the basis, then as already I have told you that in centralized we will find normally that it's best suited for the small kind of organization, while for large scale and multinational companies the decentralization structure will work only. Thank you.